In the past that this was my last convention. That was a lie. You guys sucked me back in again. And the reason for that was I missed you. And actually with Facebook and having you guys as my 500 new friends, they're not new friends, you're all my old friends. But I realized there are some of you here who might not know me. So I'm going to recap quickly, for you don't care or know, but at the end of this you're gonna care. Okay, so I came in the last season. I might need a little help. I have 2 kids, I don't sleep. Okay, the last season of Xena I came on.
No. Season 4.
The 4th season of Xena, which was the last.
No. 6.
Okay. Whatever season that I was on Xena. The first episode, which was to be my only episode, was called Sin Trade. There was a 2-parter, and the character was an old hag. And that was great for me to play. I had horns and a huge outfit, and my first scene I saw Xena on all 4s, and then I got thrown out of the yurt, and then I died. And that was it. Then I came back for Between the Lines, which was an episode where there were a lot of sword fighting, lots of henna tattoos, and then I died. Then there was Them Bones, where I was in leather, and I had a great line. I've always wanted to be inside of you, Xena. And that's when I realized it didn't matter if I died. It just but I died again. So then they thought, well, let's do an episode called Send in the Clones. So now Alti is in our time, in leather, with a rockin' car, and rockin' stunts, and then I died. I got electrocuted on the top of the car, which is a big hit with my kids. Then I was in When Fates Collide, which was my last episode, which is where I got to meet the fabulous Catherine Fouché, who is coming on next. And I got to make out with Carl Urban, who farted during our love scene. True story. And then I died. My convention backstory is interesting. I lost my cherry in San Francisco. My very first convention, I was petrified. I wore leather pants and red lipstick, and I was shaking. And I got such a high from you guys and your response, and there's no looking back. So then Creation were like, ooh, this chick's a cash cow, let's bring her back. And so I went on to do about 35 conventions. Some of the highlights were meeting Kevin and, and Danielle in Orlando, where we proceeded in true Kiwi fashion to get soup drunk. And come to the convention super hungover, but when you look like Kevin Smith, it didn't matter. Danielle and I did a little more makeup, but Kevin did not. Then there was Cherry Hill, where if there was a convention in Cherry Hill, count me in, because I was down for some Jersey girls, because those are fun conventions. Then Burbank, and I started realizing that talking about what happened in the episode was maybe a little boring and tedious for you guys, as it was for me after whoring myself across the country. So I thought I'm going to give back. So I got together with Alex Tidings, and we did what I think was, for me, one of the most profoundly important moments in convention history. We stomped on stage and started to read very sexy fan fiction. I remember there were probably a couple thousand fans at that point, and we walked off stage to such thunderous applause, and we were walking down the steps, and I remember Ted Raimi stopping us and saying, "Ladies, remember this, because this is amazing." And it truly was. So that was when the hooks were in deep for me, and I just thought, so then I did the vagina monologues with Danielle, then I did movies with Barbie dolls, which I'm making out, then I really went to town. So I pretty much, did 35 conventions. There's 3 tattoos of my face on fans. I've signed over 10,000 autographs. I have over 2,000 Facebook Xena fans, and a room full of people that I fucking love. So, if you don't know me, now you kind of do. I did put a swear jar out in Cherry Hill, and it was about $20. So we're going strong here in about 5. There would be a couple moms leaving with their little children when I would come on, like, "Shh, don't listen to what that means, she's bad. Listen to her." Yeah, the Gabrielle girl, she's coming on after. That Joxer, he's a good guy. Little did they know, after the convention, Joxer was a dirty man. So now, cut to now, I haven't been an actor since Xena. It was pretty much my last job as an actor out of choice. And I decided to start my own company. I created a brand called CNC California, a t-shirt line, and we were very fortunate, my partner and I, and we sold it in 2005. And since then, I've had 2 little kids. I've got 2 little boys, Lucky and Rocco. Yes, those are their real names. My husband says it'll be cool when they're older, because girls will say, "I just got lucky," and then one will say, "And I got a piece of the rock." You know, or a guy, whatever it is. I'm totally open to either. Anyway, Lucky goes to school with 2 kids who have 2 mommies, which I think is so awesome. And he came home one day to me and he said, "Mom, I have a great idea. When you go to God, when you're 100, he said, when you come back, you should marry a girl." He's like, "That's such a good idea." I was like, "Lucky, you have no idea how much of a good idea that is." So I love that my children are growing up in an environment where that is completely normal. Their father's African American, and they're also growing up in an environment where that, is not an issue. We were actually just talking about having a little roundtable discussion about it, and Martin Luther King Day just passed, and Lucky was asking me about it, and I'm still not that good at trying to explain it to him because he's only 5, but I try, but I'm not good at it, so I usually always go to my husband. "Honey, can you come and explain that?" And because he doesn't see color, and neither do the kids at his school, and that's so wonderful. Except he's a big Michael Jackson fan, and there was a little problem there when he saw This Is It 400 times, and then I bought him the book at Easter, and there's Michael Jackson on the first page as a little child. So Lucky was like, "Who's that? Who's that guy?" I said, "Oh, Lucky, that's Michael Jackson as a child." "No, that's not Michael Jackson. That guy, he's black." "Well, like Michael Jackson says, it doesn't matter if you're black and white. You can change yourself if you feel like it. I wouldn't advise it, but you can. You can, yes, I can marry a girl." Maybe not in the state of California. What the fuck is wrong with people here? But anyway, so that's me now. if anybody would like to ask me anything, pretty much, I will gladly answer. You, hi.
What are you doing now that you sold your company and stuff like that? I mean, are you...
Eating bonbons. No. I'm trying actually to get my children into a good school, which is also something that is a hot topic. Getting into a private school, unfortunately our public school system is not that great, so getting them into a public school is kind of like winning an Oscar. It's impossible. we are on the waiting list for 2 schools where there's 14 spots in one, 400 applications. But mommy's gonna pull the race card on this one. So what's the diversity like at your school? Oh, really? Oh, okay. I'm playing both sides. Yeah, that's a full-time job. I'm on the PTA, so Altie's on the PTA. I'll bring the cookies. No, don't eat those. Those are just for the dads. Yes.
Does your little boys, have they ever seen you act?
Oh yeah, they love, there's one clip on YouTube that somebody put together to the song Vida Loca, and it's just like, oh, yay! So Lucky thinks that's my name, so he's like, let's watch Vida Loca! Mommy bad guy! And then he'll like fly around the room, and then I didn't actually have a doll, but I pretend I did, because I just took the Xena Cintrate doll and put some blood on her head, and so it was like I used it in one of my doll movies, so I just pretend. And now actually, you know when you lie so much that it just becomes true? So even my husband thinks that's my doll. Oh yeah, Claire has a doll. So it's shh, don't, shh, zip it, lock it. I have the doll, right? There's this all-teen Cintrate doll. It's not the Xena Cintrate doll.
Tell them not to post it on YouTube.
So he takes the doll and swings it around the house, and anybody that comes over is like, Mommy, that's my mom, Mommy bad guy. And his friends are like, is that your mom? Yes, it is. Anyway, I have a little bit of a cold. Both my kids are sick. And I was just saying, whenever Lucky sneezes and the big snot comes down, I'm the only person that can take it off. So he's like, Mom! I'm like, honey, there's a tissue right next to you. Mom!